Chapter 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. The whole convoy was in chaos, and hundreds of fully armed Blood Wolf Corps members drew their weapons and guns to be on guard. Hua Ying, the captain of the 13th squad responsible for the convoy's guard, got off the car with a gloomy face and spit out the cigar in his mouth. Damn it. Bad luck, this happened when it was his turn to be on guard, which really annoyed Hua Ying, looking at the black shadow monster in front. What are you doing? Come on, all of you. Humph, seeing that the black shadow was covered tightly, Hua Ying snorted coldly, pretending to be a ghost, hiding his head and showing his tail. The ordinary gang members of the Blood Wolf Corps who received the order immediately opened the safety, raised their automatic rifles and launched a wave of long-range output at Jiang Chen. The powerful recoil made their shoulders tremble constantly. The hot flames sprayed countless stray bullets, and the bullets mixed with the heavy rain were like a death curtain covering the sky and the sun. Everyone grinned. Such a big target must be a sitting duck. Jiang Chen, who had his observation hockey fully activated, watched the fast-moving bullets slow down countless times in his eyes like a turtle's speed. Gently turning his head to avoid a bullet that was heading for his neck, Jiang Chen admired with interest the trail left in the air after the bullet circled. It was pretty. As the fight went on, the Blood Wolf group could no longer laugh. The tall black shadow monster's eyes were full of scarlet light. Then, as if it had predicted the future, it approached them step by step in the dense rain of bullets with ease. Some gang members swallowed their saliva, suppressed the fear that was gradually growing in their hearts, and poured bullets crazily, hoping that the monster could be repelled. Damn! A bunch of trash. Hua Ying, the captain of the 13th Division, grabbed the RPG rocket launcher in the hands of the guard beside him, raised his hand and fired at the black shadow. Bullets don't work. Let me see if this shell works. The guard on the side was shocked. Captain. That monster is too close. If we use a rocket launcher, it will hurt our brothers. What he received was a slap from Hua Ying. Are you teaching me how to do things? But the rocket that was shot at the black shadow monster was actually caught by the monster, and then it turned around and was thrown back to the direction of the convoy. No. Run. The Blood Wolf group members in the front row were scared by the incoming rockets and ran away. Unfortunately, human legs can't run faster than rockets. The Blood Wolf group members who were slightly weaker and had poor legs and feet were unfortunately swallowed up by the howitzer fired by the rocket launcher. Dazzling flames and piercing roars. Jiang Chen flashed into the crowd like a ghost. The bloody mace was swung violently. In an instant, the earth collapsed and corpses were everywhere. Flesh and blood flew everywhere. At this time, the Blood Wolf Group's admiral and a group of high-ranking officials, as well as Hao Niu Bai and others, also rushed over from the rear. Admiral Duan Lang looked at the black monster that was constantly slaughtering ordinary members of the Blood Wolf Group, and narrowed his eyes. Hua Ying, what's going on? Admiral, this monster is of unknown origin and is blocking the way forward for our convoy. Judging from its movements, it has a sense of advance and retreat. It must have been premeditated. Hua Ying reported everything to Duan Lang. That is specifically targeting our Blood Wolf group. Damn it. Who of you is willing to step forward and test this person? Duan Lang shouted, looking at everyone with a covetous look. Admiral, I think this person is just some brute force. There is no need to worry, I am willing to take his head. The deputy captain of the 13th Division, Pan Long, stepped forward to ask for orders. As the animal-type bird fruit spike-tailed swift form ability user, he has a perverted extreme speed. The spike-tailed swift is known as the fastest flying animal in nature. He, who thinks he is extremely fast, likes to play with those stupid people who think they have brute force. Okay. Pan Long. I toast you a glass. I wish you a victory. Duan Lang raised the wine glass in his hand and filled it for him personally. Thank you, Admiral. Leave the wine here, wait for me to cut off this man's head, and then drink it. After saying that, Pan Long glanced at Hua Ying with a provocative look. The captain of the 13th squad must be mine. Okay. Return triumphantly, I will definitely record your merit. Upon hearing this, Hua Ying's face suddenly darkened, looking at the black shadow in the distance with hatred. When can't he attack? Why did he choose me to be on duty? Pan Long took a mountain axe from his subordinate, his whole body changed, and the wings behind him spread out to become a monster with a bird's head and a human body, and soared into the sky in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, he arrived above Jiang Chen. Humph. Who are you, thug? Tell me your name. I, Pan, will not kill an unknown person, Pan Long said arrogantly, holding a heavy axe in his arms. Dead man, you don't need to know my name. The monster Jiang Chen with scarlet eyes spoke indifferently. Fuck. You are even more pretentious than me. Pan Long was angry, and his wings fluttered. His figure suddenly turned into a trail of afterimages circling around Jiang Chen. How shameless. Did you see it? Did you see the extreme speed I have? There is nothing invincible in martial arts, only speed can't break it. I am the natural nemesis of you clumsy big guys. You will pay for your words. I will cut off your flesh piece by piece. Pan Long's ghostly voice kept coming from all directions. Jiang Chen held the mace and stood still, sneering, stupid, since you are pursuing extreme speed, why do you use heavy weapons like the mountain axe? What do you know? Speed is power. With my extreme speed and the sharp heavy weapon of the mountain axe, I am the perfect combination of power and speed. I will have no weaknesses. Hearing Jiang Chen's ridicule, Pan Long was furious. Nondescriptive things. Jiang Chen whispered, comprehensive means mediocrity, of course, he is an exception. You're looking for death. Pan Long flew to an infinite height in anger, holding the axe in both hands, and turned into a stream of light, swinging a fierce slash from top to bottom with unmatched potential energy. The speed of the fruit ability was brought to the extreme by Pan Long. He changed his mind, he wanted to kill the rat who dared to mock him with one blow. The swift black shadow turned into a swift phantom, and the heavy axe emitted sparks in the fierce friction with the air. Swift mountain slash. That is the famous skill of Lord Pan Long. I didn't expect to have the honor to see it today. Great, that monster killed so many of our brothers, and it's finally going to die. Countless ordinary gang members of the Blood Wolf group cried bitterly, many of their brothers died at the hands of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen under the mask revealed a bloodthirsty edge, his whole body aura condensed, and the black robe moved without wind. The rain around him seemed to have been paused. The ground cracked under his feet. It made a creaking sound as he couldn't bear the weight. Black air covered his whole body. The golden-red light in his eyes was shining brightly, which was the external manifestation of Jiang Chen's fruit power and domineering aura being pushed to the extreme. Jiang Chen held the 8 fast rings in both hands and made a brutal attack on the swift phantom from bottom to top. The 8 fast rings made a series of sonic booms when they were swung. Full power. Great mighty thunder bagua. The heavy axe and the mace slammed violently. The ground cracked and shattered. The terrifying air wave rolled back. The people who were closer were blown by the strong wind and couldn't open their eyes at all. The dazzling shock wave rushed straight into the sky, and even the rainstorm was temporarily stopped to avoid its edge. How is it? Master Pan Long should have won, right? Some gang members swallowed their saliva. Sorry, your peerless General Pan Long seems to have only a head left. In the center of the explosion, a black-robed monster with a mace in his right hand walked out of the fire, and in his left hand, he was holding a hideous head. Chapter 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When mentioning Pan Long's head, his face vaguely showed his unwillingness to his fate and his yearning for a better life. Look at you, I told you a long time ago that if you want speed, you should practice speed well, and if you want strength, you should improve your strength well. You have to confuse them, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You don't even understand such a simple truth, it's a miracle that you can live to this day. since you want to pursue skills, then go all the way. You dare to confront me head-on? You are so brave, that while talking and laughing, Jiang Chen threw Pan Long's head back to the Blood Wolf group. Lord Pan Long. A subordinate who was loyal to Pan Long hugged his head and cried bitterly, the battlefield is always the best place to cultivate brotherhood. They have already established deep feelings in the battlefield where they fight with beasts. They may be extremely vicious and cruel, but it does not mean that they have no feelings. They are also heartbroken when they witness the tragic death of their leader. Ah! You cruel demon! How did our Blood Wolf group offend you? You kill anyone you see, that a crying little brother asked the black-robed monster. How touching! What a brotherly love! Let me take you to see your Lord Pan Long. Jiang Chen looked at the little brother jokingly. Woo 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 eh. The man was obviously stunned and sniffed fiercely when he saw Jiang Chen approaching. The strong desire to survive made him say, well. Actually. Lord Pan Long and I are not too familiar. Lord Pan Long. I'm sorry, the monster is really aggressive. I will definitely pay my respects to you in the future. Duan Lang in the middle of the convoy crushed the wine glass fiercely. Pan Long, who used all his strength, could not last a round in the hands of the monster. Although there were tactical errors, Pan Long was at least a bronze-level fighter. One of his generals died in such an unclear way. Even Duan Lang couldn't help but feel distressed when a high-end combat force was killed. The senior cadres around him also had solemn eyes. Even Pan Long couldn't take this man's move. If they were to take over, wouldn't it be the same fate? They couldn't help but feel sad, but Hao Nyobi, who was standing next to him, had a strange look on his face. Why did this person feel a little familiar? Who are you? I don't know if the Blood Wolf group has any grudges with others. I have never provoked a strong man like you. Now you come to our Blood Wolf group alone without asking any questions. Do you think we are made of mud? If you don't give an explanation today, I will make sure you never come back. That the Blood Wolf Admiral exuded a murderous intent as if it were real, and stared at Jiang Chen with a sinister look. Why do you think that you have the advantage because of the large number of people? It doesn't matter, you are already surrounded by me, that the black-robed monster sneered. Okay. You don't know how to live or die. You think you are invincible after killing Pan Long, right? Let me tell you, it's a coincidence that all the members of my Blood Wolf group are now dispatched to the 13th Division. Except for me, the 24 captains are all bronze-level masters. You picked the wrong time. Hearing Jiang Chen's arrogant words, Duan Lang was also very angry and laughed. Oh, that's really interesting. Killing masters like you is more interesting than crushing an ant, isn't it? That the words spoken by the hideous monster with a mace in his hand, covered with a black robe, are also chilling. No. Admiral. This person is our target. Qinglong Jiang Chen. At this time, Hao Nyobi finally knew where this familiar feeling came from after careful observation and comparison. Hao Nyobi, who had had a brief negotiation with Jiang Chen at the Combat Power Appraisal Center, listened to the voice of the black-robed monster and his nephew Hao Sei's description of Jiang Chen's transformation, and said with great certainty. What? He is Qinglong Jiang Chen. Everyone couldn't believe it. The person who was supposed to be surrounded and killed by them now dared to turn around and brazenly want to surround and kill them alone. Absurd. Absurd to the extreme. But such a ridiculous thing made it impossible for anyone present except Duan Lang to refute it. The scene of Jiang Chen killing Pan Long in one move is still vivid in everyone's mind. Is that so? It's worthy of being a domineering existence. The destructive power of the moves is far better than others. But Duan Lang said coldly, seeing Hao Nyobi appear, Jiang Chen also smiled. Finally caught you. Duan Lang and Jiang Chen spoke at the same time. One side used himself as bait to lure Jiang Chen to death, the other side also wanted to end the feud by replacing the original with the new one. Wrong time, wrong place, the two sides started the duel. Captains, listen to my order. Kill him together. With Duan Lang's order, all the cadres under his command took their positions one after another. In this empty wilderness, a battle that would determine the direction of Qingqing's power began. Let me, Hua-ing, meet you. Hua-ing, the captain of the 13th Division of the Blood Wolf Group, was seen holding a guandao and swinging it vigorously. He dragged the sword and slashed it, and invisible sword energy permeated it, which was extremely sharp. Jiang Chen raised the 8 fasts with one hand and blocked it horizontally. The center of the collision produced a huge shock, and the terrifying sword energy split the earth in two. Suddenly, a pair of big hands rushed out from under Jiang Chen's feet, with iron claws on his hands. There was a faint green light on the iron claws, which was obviously quenched with a deadly poison, and it seemed that Jiang Chen was about to restrict his movements. Humph, a little trick. Jiang Chen forced Hua-ing back with a breath of fire. He jumped into the air with his legs, and kept swinging the mace with both hands to make it circle, and the violent lightning in the sky was pulled down. He hit the iron claws hard. The third world, inducing Naraku. The earth exploded layer by layer. Thunder raged within 100 meters. A captain of a squad lurking under the earth could not dodge in time. He took Jiang Chen's big move head-on. No. The man didn't have time to react and didn't expect that he couldn't escape the attack even if he hid underground, and was blown up alive. At this time, Jiang Chen had already opened fire, and the dragon man turned into a half-beast, and his domineering aura was unbridled. Hua-ing, who was not far away, was scared to death. What? Are you scared? Jiang Chen took off his mask, and the ferocious dragon head exuded a terrifying majesty. While swinging one arm, the 8 fasts kept attacking Hua-ing. Hua-ing held the knife with both hands and tried to resist but was beaten back. Bang! 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 The guandao kept colliding with the mace wrapped with Jiang Chen's armed color domineering aura. Soon there were cracks everywhere. Jiang Chen hit faster and faster, and the mace became more and more handy. Hua-ing's palm was hit so hard that it hurt. He was panting and about to collapse. As Jiang Chen swung the mace, it drew a brutal and beautiful arc. Admiral, save me! Hua-ing screamed for help. The captain of the squad who was close to him flew forward and attacked Jiang Chen's vitals with every move, trying to rescue Hua-ing. He ignored the attacks of others, and under his superdimensional divine body, every inch of his body was the strongest defense. Jiang Chen's killing move went straight to Hua-ing. Bang! The mace collided with the guandao, but after a moment, the guandao broke, and the iron rod smashed Hua-ing's head without any hindrance. How dare you! A long sword chopped directly on Jiang Chen's neck. The powerful force split the jungle not far behind Jiang Chen in two. Chapter 63. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The powerful force of the long sword pressed even Jiang Chen slightly bent over. HP -50, currently remaining HP 760. Try harder. Under the heavy rain, Jiang Chen's cold and hot golden eyes stared at the captain of the squad who swung the sword and injured him, and the dragon head showed a trace of human mockery. How could he be unscathed? The captain was horrified. He had practiced swordsmanship for many years and had already reached the level of a swordsman. Cutting steel and breaking iron is no problem. Now he hit with all his strength, but he couldn't even cut through Jiang Chen's fur. Jiang Chen didn't care about the man's horror, and his observation haki sensed a majestic and deadly breath approaching him quickly. Turn around to defend or kill the swordsman first. Without thinking, Jiang Chen twisted his neck to hold the long sword, and his domineering hand stabbed the swordsman in the face. Finger gunned, one breath penetrating the long rainbow. The high-level finger gun physical technique combined with full-power domineering damage index is incomparable. The captain of the swordsman squad, who was unable to draw out his long sword, had no time to react and could only use his magic skills in desperation. Iron block. It's a pity that the iron block can't protect the head. One finger smashed the man's head. The attacks behind him also followed one after another. 100% power. Destroying the monument hand. Duan Lang's cold and violent voice came. Jiang Chen turned around and saw a ferocious wolf head with a bloody mouth. The wolf-like creature covered with needle-like hair slapped Jiang Chen's face with its claws. The white shock wave visible to the naked eye spread wildly around. The ground cracked and the trees shattered wherever it passed. Jiang Chen's huge body was blown hundreds of meters away like a rag. Duan Lang waved his palm in the direction of a huge and continuous gully. It was really a palm that calmed the wind and rain, and there was no god in the world. After retracting his strength and exhaling, Duan Lang turned and left. There was no need to send anyone to check, this palm was unexpected. Duan Lang directly used all his strength, and both the fruit and physical skills were used with all his strength. He was confident that no one would dare to take his move head-on. Moreover, it was under his sneak attack. Humph, you killed so many of my men. Even a lion fighting a rabbit uses all its strength. You died under my palm. Jiang Chen, you are proud enough. The admiral is mighty. Invincible. It's been a long time since I saw the admiral use his full strength. The ancient species of the animal-type dog fruit has the ability of the wolf form, that the blood wolf group cheered. Hao Niubai also stepped forward to congratulate. Congratulations to the admiral. Congratulations to the admiral. Eliminate the big trouble. Before he finished speaking, the huge wolf claws slammed heavily on Hao Niubai's face, and immediately slapped him away. In mid-air, Hao Niubai's face froze, from smiling to twisted, and finally broken teeth mixed with blood sprayed out of his mouth. It's all because of you. Your Hao family, in this battle, 4 of my capable subordinates died. Why are you still alive? Duan Lang's inhuman face revealed a cold green light. Misunderstanding, all misunderstanding. My Hao family is willing to compensate the admiral's loss. Our two families have always been very friendly. Hao Niubai wailed in pain, half knelt on the ground and kept begging for mercy. Duan Lang walked to Hao Niubai's side, whispered in his ear, my good homie, because of helping you, so many of my brothers died. Not killing you is not enough to appease the public anger. Don't worry, I will blame Jiang Chen for your death. My blood wolf group and the Hao family will still be harmonious and friendly. Hao homie will definitely understand my brother, right? You. Before he opened his mouth, Duan Lang covered Hao Niubai's mouth and nose first, and stabbed his claws directly into Hao Niubai's heart and stirred it back and forth. Hao Niubai's body trembled. He fell in a pool of blood with disbelief in his eyes, his body twitching constantly, and Duan Lang opened his mouth with resentment, as if he wanted to say something. Unfortunately, the blood that kept gushing out blocked his throat. Oh. Oh. Looking at Hao Niubai who was not dead yet, Duan Lang shouted to everyone, the thug Jiang Chen is cruel. Director Hao and the Blood Wolf group fought the enemy together, but Jiang Chen counterattacked before his death, and Director Hao Niubai was unfortunately killed by him. Everyone, let me encourage each other. That the rest of the Blood Wolf group responded one after another. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not dead yet, why don't I remember that I killed that idiot? Then at the end of the gully opened by the palm wind, the deep pit suddenly burst. Under the flying stones, a monster with a 4-horned ferocious dragon head and torn clothes appeared again with his shoulders shaking. Suffering from skull-crushing damage, HP reduced by 1/6, current HP minus 135, currently remaining HP 625. Is this the all-out attack of a silver-level expert? It's really scary. If it weren't for the judgment mechanism of the superdimensional divine body, I would have died long ago. The swordsman's all-out attack was able to eliminate 50 points of my HP because his ability could only reach this level. And Duan Lang's full-strength attack only achieved 135 points of damage, because my head is worth that much. Jiang Chen's heart sank. This Duan Lang is not easy to deal with. It seems that the next strategy of exchanging injuries for lives will not work. the Blood Wolf group on the opposite side was even more shocked than Jiang Chen. He was hit by the full-strength attack of the Admiral and was unscathed. How is this possible? He is like a diamond, and he is indestructible when he sees gods. What should we do? The Grand Admiral can't do anything to him. Are we going to die here? Monster, I can't figure it out, I really can't figure it out. How can he be unharmed? Even if he bumped into something, he should have some scratches. A cloud of gloom covered everyone's heart. The sound of the monster's footsteps was like the drumbeat of the god of death stepping on everyone's heart. Unlike the other people in the Blood Wolf group, the experienced Grand Admiral Duan seemed a little calm, but his brows were furrowed, and his heart was actually a little heavy. Interesting, how did you manage to look unharmed on the surface? Duan knew that there were countless ways in this world to make his full-strength attack ineffective, such as the natural devil fruit that represented power, the barrier fruit that was invincible, and the ghost fruit that transformed into a ghost and was immune to physical damage. There were also superhuman straw fruits that could take the lives of others for their own. Even some special superhuman fruits that could achieve similar elementalization could achieve this effect. And the martial arts treasure house in the top schools also included the peerless martial arts that could transfer damage, such as the Great Shift of the Universe and the Shift of the Stars. But these things should never happen to Jiang Chen. During the battle between Jiang Chen and the Blood Wolf group, Duan had been observing this peerless genius. His fruit is of the animal type. There is no way that the fruit can be immune to damage. His physical body is very strong, and he can fight against ordinary bronze realm beings in normal state. When he turns into a dragon man, he can even compete with ordinary silver masters. But these are still not enough in front of Duan, who is also a super animal type ability user and is at the upper silver level in terms of physical strength. His physical talent is terrible. He has mastered all 6 styles at a young age, and his finger gun has reached advanced. Duan believes that his martial arts talent is indeed inferior to Jiang Chen, but his advantage is that he is old. After years of immersion in martial arts, even a pig can slowly improve. Besides, iron blocks are not immune to his attacks. All these unreasonable things indicate that there is something wrong with Jiang Chen, but Duan does not intend to think about it anymore to find the answer, since it is common sense that Jiang Chen should not be unscathed. No matter how strange Jiang Chen is, he has completely taken his full-strength attack. Duan is so rational. Although I don't know what method you used, you definitely can't be as unscathed as you seem. I want to see how many times you can withstand my attacks. Humph, then come and try it yourself, and you will know. Chapter 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Duan took a step back and waved his hand. Everyone, come on. Hearing this, the ordinary gang members hesitated. Jiang Chen's performance was too terrifying. They could not see any hope of winning. They were also human beings. They instinctively resisted this kind of life of death. The only 20 remaining captains were furious when they saw everyone hesitating. Those who disobey the orders of the Admiral will be executed immediately. Those who dare to take a step back will be executed on the spot. After saying this, he drew his sword and caught several retreating gang members and cut their heads and bodies apart with a single cut. Immediately stunned everyone. Are you kidding? If you ordinary gang members don't go up, then won't our captains have to go up first? In the end, the fear of the Blood Wolf leaders overcame the fear of Jiang Chen, and they all raised their weapons to attack Jiang Chen. Duan wandered outside the field, like a lone wolf devouring people, constantly looking for Jiang Chen's flaws, waiting for an opportunity to move. Cunning and treacherous. The remaining 20 captains shuttled between the battlefields, huddled together for warmth, and guarded against Jiang Chen's surprise attack. Some experienced and well-versed ordinary gang members hid behind trees or stone walls and raised their guns to shoot from a distance. More reckless and hot-blooded young gang members, on the contrary, did not know how to live or die, and fought Jiang Chen in close combat. Many people did not die under Jiang Chen's palm, but died from the cold guns behind their companions. A young figure like a ghost, holding a dagger, approached Jiang Chen at a very fast speed, and was about to chop Jiang Chen's neck with one knife. Just graduated? Blame it on you for choosing the wrong place to settle down. Inexplicable words appeared in the ears of the young figure. The boy, who was obviously at the speed of the wind, looked up and was shocked to find that no matter how fast he was, Jiang Chen's eyes were always staring at him. Seeing the boy leaping into the air and swinging his knife at him at a snail's pace, Jiang Chen indifferently reached out and crushed his dagger, and then stabbed the dagger fragments directly into the boy's temple. The boy died instantly, and the remaining expression was full of doubt. It seemed that he was still thinking about Jiang Chen's words just now. Seeing that the Blood Wolf group began to consume tactics, Jiang Chen no longer resisted. He started shaving directly, and the brutal figure rushed across the battlefield like an out-of-control tank. In the last second, he kicked a gang member to death, and then in the next second, he flashed to an old man hiding in a tree, pinched his head and smashed him to the ground. This is the perfect combination of strength and speed. Jiang Chen is like a tyrant dominating the battlefield. The system panel kept sending deprivation prompts. Jiang Chen became more and more crazy and intoxicated in killing. On the battlefield, the dark god of death was harvesting all living beings. For an ordinary army, once the casualty rate exceeds 5%, the courage of the soldiers will collapse. They will be defeated and flee. If this ratio reaches 10%, it is enough to be called an elite division. In history, the highest ratio that a unit can maintain is 30%. Once the casualty rate on the battlefield exceeds 30%, most troops will collapse and disintegrate. At this time, Jiang Chen is a one-man army. The Blood Wolf group, which had already been killed, was completely defeated. Seeing Jiang Chen's intoxicated killing, the captains of the Blood Wolf group couldn't help swallowing their saliva. Looking at Jiang Chen's back, even the admiral of the Blood Wolf group, who has been on the battlefield for so many years and dominated one side, felt a chill in his spine. He actually saw a trace of excitement and joy in Jiang Chen's eyes. That was the look of a real predator facing his prey. He enjoying killing. Duan Lang frowned deeply. For the first time, he felt shaken and regretful in his heart. Can such a monster really be his enemy? Shaking his head, Duan Lang gave up the unrealistic idea in his mind. He and his Blood Wolf group have no way out. Today, only one side can survive between the Blood Wolf group and Jiang Chen. The winner is the king. The loser will die without a burial place. Mom, I want to go home. Monster! Monster, run away! That the ordinary gang members who were finally frightened threw away their armor and weapons and ran away. Run! Where do you want to escape to? That the bloodthirsty Jiang Chen was full of momentum. The blue dragon shadow appeared from the body and roared to the sky. Then it suddenly plunged into Jiang Chen's body. Jiang Chen's body began to swell. Surrounded by flames, his hands and feet turned into dragon claws. 10 meters. 50 meters. 100 meters. The huge monster soared into the sky. The mythical blue dragon stood in the world. In an instant, the sky changed, and the thunder was stronger than before. Under the blessing of the mighty power of nature and the power of Azure Dragon, the violent storm seemed to be enhanced to an epic level. Jiang Chen also exerted a far more powerful attack than usual under the feedback of the power of nature. Rainy weather is worthy of being loved by dragons. In an instant, the tree was blown down in half. The car fell to the ground. The clothes of the wind was blowing loudly. The violent storm made them unable to open their eyes. And the weak ones had already lost their direction in the violent storm. Their bodies were involuntarily swept by the storm. They could not escape at all. Ha ha ha. It feels great. Although half-beast transformation is the strongest posture of personal comprehensive combat power. But full beast transformation is the full manifestation of the fruit ability. Ants. I will be very distressed if I let you live to pass the message back. Stay. Roaring thunder, tornado, bad wind. The blue dragon roared to the sky, and the roar turned into thunder. The blood wolf group was like walking lightning rods. Locked by thunder. Dense lightning descended from the sky. The earth was easily torn apart. Turned into annihilation. At the same time, the long dragon body kept spinning. Countless brutal wind blades hidden in the rain and thunder swept in all directions. The terrain was divided into pieces. The wild wolves and the demon beast group near the Death Valley in the distance looked at the supreme aura of the roaring dragon's shadow in the distant sky, and they all prostrated themselves on the ground and trembled. Such a large-scale, natural disaster-like attack really shocked everyone. The weak gang members had already died in Jiang Chen's large-scale joint AoE damage, and no bones were left. The slightly stronger Black Iron-level gang members were just struggling and lingering. Only the captain-level combat power was still struggling to resist, breaking the strong wind with a knife. Fists smashed the thunder. Is this the power of the fantasy beast Azure Dragon? Is this the strength of the number one genius? How can we fight this? Damn it, I can't go on like this, I can't hold on anymore. A team captain gritted his teeth and said. Before he could finish, he was unlucky and the thunder and wind blade came at the same time. He was immediately seriously injured and lost his combat power. What should we do? Qinglong Jiang Chen has the air superiority, Pan Long is dead, we can't do anything to him. Duan Lang casually broke a lightning bolt and came to the crowd. Captains, listen to my order. Let's attack together. First drive this monster down from the sky. Unconsciously, Duan Lang's name for Jiang Chen began to change, he had to admit. Jiang Chen is a terrifying monster. Both physically and mentally. Admiral. What did you say? The rain is too heavy. I can't hear you. The captain who was a little far away opened his mouth and shouted at Duan Lang, and soon his mouth was full of rain. I said. Attack together. Duan Lang patiently yelled at the man. Chapter 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The captains of each division concentrated their minds and calmed down, and their fatal slashes cut through the rain curtain and attacked the azure dragon in the sky that called the wind and rain and released natural disasters. Jiang Chen swung his dragon tail and moved between the clouds, and his slashes passed by it. No. Admiral. That monster can use the hockey of observation hockey. It's too far away to hit it. Why don't we retreat, Admiral? This Jiang Qinglong took advantage of the rain and took advantage of the weather and terrain. It's unwise to fight at this time, the captains of each division, who were soaked and embarrassed in the heavy rain, complained bitterly. Asshole! Who do you think I am? I am the Admiral of Blood Wolf. All of you come at me. Duan Lang shouted loudly, and with a dry land onion, his figure rushed straight into the sky. Jiang Chen. I want to subdue the dragon today. Jiang Chen's violent dragon roar resounded through the sky. The same moves won't work on me. Qinglong bad wind bagua. Countless wind blades and thunderbolts are sniping at Duan Lang from high in the sky. Duan Lang's body is flexible and constantly evades the incoming attacks, and he even steps on the wind blades to help him get closer to Jiang Chen faster. He clasped his fists together, and his aura was extremely condensed. Surrounded by the aura, a wolf-shaped phantom also appeared behind him, and its movements were synchronized with Duan Lang's. 100% power. Blood wolf destroying monument hand. Jiang Chen also swooped down. The surrounding wind followed. The armed color domineering raged wildly and gathered on his head. Amid roars, the domineering color domineering bombarded indiscriminately. The two sides collided. The whole world suddenly became quiet. The rainstorm solidified, and was pulled by the powerful aura of both sides. After a moment, it shattered. The terrifying spherical shock wave spread from the center of the collision between the two sides. The clouds were shaken apart, the rainstorm stopped suddenly, and the wilderness was flattened by the spreading shock wave to a depth of half a meter. Then came the screaming roar. The terrifying domineering aura made everyone's brain blank for a while. Those who were slightly determined also had blood flowing from their mouths, noses, eyes and ears in the subsequent shock wave and sharp roar, and their bodies were blown away like rags. Only the remaining people opened their mouths and cried silently. The thunder was still raging, but there was only a sizzling sound like electromagnetic in the ears. The captains of the major squads were implicated by the extremely powerful blows of Jiang Chen and Duan Lang. Some of them had blood flowing from their facial features and barely stood up, some knelt on the ground with their eyes rolled back and had already lost consciousness, and some were buried in the ruins and soil, and their lives and deaths were unknown. The protagonists of the battle, Jiang Chen and Duan Lang, were also backlashed by their own power. Jiang Chen's huge body was shaken away and smashed several huge rocks in the distance. And Duan Lang fell straight to the ground. Smashed through the ground and fell into the depths of the earth. Who won? The only 2 or 3 squad leaders who were still able to move struggled to get up, looking at their companions who were either seriously injured or unconscious, and swallowed their saliva in fear. Domineering. That is definitely the domineering. Jiang Chen. That monster has the legendary domineering qualifications that are unique among millions of people. Too powerful. Is this the confrontation between the admiral and the monster? The aftermath of the shock alone makes them powerless to resist. Did the admiral really defeat him? At this time, they can only wait for the high-end combat power of both sides on the battlefield to decide the real victory or defeat. It will also determine their fate. In the rubble, Jiang Chen's huge body was the first to recover. Jiang Chen kept shaking the dragon head. His head felt a little dizzy during the previous collision, damaged by the enemy's desperate attack in the aftermath of both sides. His health value is -185, and his current health value is 480, including health recovery. After exiting the Azure Dragon form, Jiang Chen resumed his Dragonman fighting posture. Seeing that there was no movement in the deep pit, he quickly rested and checked his own panel. Ding, multidimensional deprivation was successfully activated. Strength +85, limit, speed +123, defense +155, health +190, limit, spirit +99, limit, spirit +130, basic stick skill proficiency +350, iron block proficiency +400, name, Jiang Chen, race, human, level, black iron, basic attributes, strength, 1000, limit, speed, 835. Defense, 920. Life, 1000, limit, energy, 1000, limit, spirit, 930. Life recovery, 1 point of life per second, devil fruit, fish fruit fantasy beast blue dragon form, fruit development degree 10%, armament hockey, primary, 0/1000, observation hockey, primary, 10/1000, overlord hockey, primary, 0/1000, affected by the superdimensional divine body talent. 100% of the divine attributes can be converted into the total amount of hockey. Physical skills, shaving, intermediate, 50/1000, iron block, advanced, 0/1000, paper drawing, intermediate, 300/1000, moon. Step, intermediate, 0/1000, missed kick, intermediate, 40/1000, gun finger, advanced, 400/1000, basic stick technique, advanced, 0/1000. Jiang Chen was surprised to find that 3 of his 6 dimensions had already reached the limit. Reached the black iron extreme. Ha 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 ha. Gentlemen, I like war. Jiang Chen opened his arms and laughed at the sky, then looked coldly at the old, weak, sick and disabled Blood Wolf Corps captains not far away. His eyes seemed to be appreciating delicious food. Just a little bit, their dozen captains should be enough, right? Looking at Jiang Chen's man-eating eyes looking at him, the only remaining conscious captain suddenly felt cold in his heart. No, run away. This monster can't find any weakness. Jiang Chen held the 8 fasts and flew towards them like a meteor. Thunder exploded on the iron rod. He pierced 3 with one move. Thunderous Bagua. The captain of the squad who had no fighting spirit was defeated in an instant. The strength of this monster. It has become stronger again. The captain of the squad who collapsed on the ground and spit out blood looked desperate. Jiang Chen brutally beat the unconscious and seriously injured captain-level masters to death one by one. For a moment, blood and flesh flew everywhere. No. Stop. Jiang Chen, we surrender. We admit defeat. The 3 captains who fell to the ground knelt on the ground and begged Jiang Chen to let them live. Let you go. What's in it for me? We have money, lots of it. We have a lot of real estate in Qinglong, all of which we will give to you. We are willing to obey your orders. Serve you as our master. Oh. Are you willing to attack Duanlang? Yes, 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 we are willing. We surrender. I can also take you to find Duanlang's family, wife and children. Kill them all. So that you don't have to worry about anything. That the 3 of them crawled on the ground and spoke frantically. It's really bad. Ha ha ha, you can be so cruel for survival. I didn't even think of killing them all. You so-called good brothers have thought of it for me. It's our duty to share the burden for the adults, hee hee. The 3 of them licked their faces and smiled shamelessly. A terrible momentum gushed out from the deep pit. Meng Buchuan. You bastards. How dare you? Kill my wife and daughter. I'll kill you first. Great. Great Admiral. The remaining 3 were horrified. I didn't expect he didn't die. Everyone, it's better to die in my hands than to die in the hands of your admiral and suffer torture. That the 3 were stunned again. Wait. Lord Jiang Chen. Without waiting for the 3 to react, Jiang Chen swung the mace down like an execution. Blood splattered everywhere, and the heads of the 3 people burst open. So far, the 13 divisions of the Blood Wolf group, a total of 26 bronze-level captains were completely wiped out. Ding multidimensional deprivation was successfully launched. Speed plus 165, limit, defense plus 80, limit, God plus 70, limit. Congratulations to the host for reaching the limit of the Black Iron Realm in the 6th dimension, and the road is the ultimate. Please absorb the spiritual energy as soon as possible to break through to the Bronze Realm and start the next stage of practice. Name, Jiang Chen, race, human, realm, Black Iron, basic attributes, strength, 1000, limit, speed, 1000, limit, defense, 1000, limit, life, 1000, limit, energy, 1000, limit, spirit, 1000, limit, spirit, 1000, limit. Jiang Chen felt the abundant power in his body and was very excited. Looking at Duanlang who jumped up from the deep pit and was covered in blood. The annoying flies are gone, and the next one is you. Admiral of the Blood Wolf Group. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a gentle bend, the broken arm was restored. Duanlang looked around and saw that he was alone. He suppressed his anger. You have become stronger. Duanlang was a little unbelievable. Jiang Chen's strength increased too quickly. As a silver-level strongman, he could easily sense the change in Jiang Chen's strength. What? Are you scared? Jiang Chen confronted him, and the 2 sides were wary of each other across the gully they had made before. In fact, there is no deep hatred between you and me, right? The bloodthirsty giant wolf with hair all over his body showed a rare sincere and silly smile on his face and spread his hands. If it weren't for the mountains of corpses and seas of blood around him, Jiang Chen almost believed it. Admiral Duan is right. As the saying goes, it is better to resolve a feud than to make one. Why don't we sit down and enjoy the moonlight? It's also great. Jiang Chen made a suggestion with a fake smile. Jiang Chen and Duanlang's heart sank at the same time. This old wall lamp is stalling time. This brat is stalling for time. Duanlang looked at the direction of Death Valley and thought to himself, I miscalculated. Now my second and third brothers, the two deputy leaders, are guarding the Blood Wolf Group headquarters to prevent scoundrels. They can't get back for a while, but it doesn't matter. Choosing Death Valley is really my wise choice, Jiang Chen. I'm waiting for reinforcements. What the hell are you waiting for? Waiting to die. Looking at the vague white line rising on the horizon in the distance, it was the dust raised by the running creatures. 10 minutes. Give me another 10 minutes. Duanlang's face was calm, but his heart was already excited. What else can this guy rely on? Jiang Chen stared at Duanlang thoughtfully, but it doesn't matter. Jiang Chen looked at his health value, which was constantly rising at a rate of 1 point per second. It only takes less than 10 minutes. I will be full of blood again. Old wall lamp, I admit that you are very strong. But how will you deal with me when I cheat? I am waiting for CD, what are you waiting for? Waiting for death. In the wilderness full of corpses, two inhuman and hideous monsters stood there strangely, motionless, with hypocritical smiles on their faces. If there were any bystanders, they would be frightened by this weird scene. Jiang Chen, you know, sometimes I really envy you geniuses. Your parents are alive, your family is happy. You are talented. It's as if you were born to have everything. You are favored by God. Unlike me, I was born alone, and was abandoned by my parents in the wilderness to fend for myself. Do you know where I lived for the first 10 years of my life? You would never have thought that I was raised by monsters, right here. In Death Valley. I was rescued by a pregnant wilderness wolf, eating raw meat. Drinking beast blood. Competing with wolves for food. Pointing at the dead brothers, Duanlang said with emotion, sometimes, people are really not as good as beasts. Jiang Chen felt something was wrong. Isn't this just right, born here, buried here? Isn't it happy? Ha ha ha, yes, it's also good to be buried here. I just don't know who is buried. Jiang Chen, do you know why my blood wolf group is called this name? Duanlang smiled strangely, his eyes playful. Seeing Duanlang's malicious face, Jiang Chen's eyes darkened. Could it be that there are more beasts in your blood wolf group? Duanlang was choked by Jiang Chen, and his words stopped for a moment, but looking at the earth shaking constantly, he smiled slightly. Jiang Chen. Every cause has its effect. I am your retribution. You should never have foolishly given me the opportunity to call for reinforcements. Ha 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 ha. Jiang Chen also found something wrong at this time, and turned around to find smoke and dust in the distance. Looking closely, in the direction of Death Valley, a large number of tall wasteland demon wolves were running towards the direction where Jiang Chen and his group were. Among them, there were even silver-level monsters. Is this what you rely on? Jiang Chen said coldly. That's right. Jiang Chen, you didn't expect that the reason why our blood wolf group can be so powerful is that we can walk freely in Death Valley without being attacked by the overlord of Death Valley, the wasteland wolf. This is a privilege that only members of our blood wolf group have. Originally, we planned to set up an ambush for you in Death Valley. When the arrangement is complete, the blood wolf group, the Hao family, and the wasteland wolf will join forces to encircle and suppress you, and you will definitely not be able to escape. But man's plans are not as good as God's plans. You are also plotting against us. Duanlang secretly said it was a pity. Facts have proved that Jiang Chen's strength is indeed extremely terrifying. No party alone is sure to completely take him down. You can't escape Jiang Chen. Die. Duanlang was full of momentum and was about to fight. Admiral Duan is really a step ahead, but I want to ask, how can you make so many wasteland wolf obey you? Order. Who can? The monster beasts are resistant to orders. But the monster beasts also have wisdom, and they are even simpler. Just relying on my encounter with them when I was young, I have already had the aura imprint, and then I deceived some ignorant people to give them to these monster beasts as food. That won't all this be done smoothly. Otherwise, how do you think the name of Death Valley came from? 20 years before I founded the Blood Wolf Group, this place was just a nameless and desolate canyon. Ha ha ha. Duan blurted out his sinful behavior in such a casual way. Do you know why I want to tell you? Because I am too uncomfortable. For more than 20 years, the stupid people in the world have been played by me without knowing it. Step by step, I was led into the land of death by my lies. Do you know how intoxicating this sense of accomplishment is? You are stalling for time, recovering from your injuries, right? I knew that you could not remain indifferent to my attack. After hearing my secret, you can die peacefully. Your life will become nutrients and continue to nourish the reputation of Death Valley. And I am still the Grand Admiral of the Blood Wolf Group. There will be a steady stream of new blood to join my ranks. I will still stand on the top of Qinglong, looking down on the mediocre people. Duan laughed wildly with a ferocious face. Humph. You are too happy too early. Have you ever heard? The dragon is the head of all spirits. The king of all beasts. With a roar that shook the sky and the earth, Jiang Chen turned into a blue dragon again, surrounded by flames. A majestic, sacred, supreme and noble breath came to his face. Jiang Chen glared. The domineering aura of the overlord poured down, sweeping the monsters. Get out! The terrifying dragon roar echoed between heaven and earth. The wildly running wasteland demon wolf pack suddenly braked. The front stopped and the back collided, and the wolves in the pack fell over. Jiang Chen knew that he could not control the monsters, but it was no problem to force them back. Sure enough, even the silver-level Wolf King stopped, as if showing humane thinking. Jiang Chen's dragon power did have some effect on them, it's just that the area outside the Death Valley is not the territory of the wasteland demon wolf. The monster beast attaches great importance to its territorial awareness. If Jiang Chen is in the Death Valley, even if he shows the power of the Azure Dragon, the monster beast will not compromise. Ah! The leading Wolf King roared, and the wasteland demon wolf pack seemed to get instructions and turned around and left. Wait! Don't go! You beasts! I raised you for 20 years. 20 years. Duan roared in anger. The Wolf King turned his head and showed a human mockery. Duan was so angry that he vomited blood. He was actually despised by the beast. Interesting, your support is gone, and it seems that you have been deserted by the beast. Jiang Chen was also full of sarcasm. Duan turned his head, don't be arrogant. Even if I am the only one, it is still unknown who will win. Chapter 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Chen. You are so cruel. Duan turned his head and stared at Jiang Chen, who had transformed into a half-beast again, like a madman. The next moment, he suddenly flew into the air, and a fierce headbutt directly hit Jiang Chen's abdomen and knocked him into the air. The swift force made the airflow around him turbulent. Jiang Chen used the moon step to forcibly stabilize his body, and his muscles burst out, swinging the 8 fasts and slashing down. The stick dragged a long shining thunder and smashed directly at Duan. Duan blocked with both arms. The earth suddenly cracked layer by layer and thunder raged. His feet bent and sank deep into the soil. In a stalemate, Jiang Chen turned his body and kicked Duan. He kicked him directly towards a huge rock in the distance, and the rock exploded. On the wasteland, 2 figures as fast as meteors kept fighting and colliding, and the explosive air waves echoed in all directions. The 2 sides launched the most brutal hand-to-hand combat. Jiang Chen, who had enough blood, exchanged injuries for injuries, resisting Duan's killing move. Besieged kept hitting his opponent's body. The 2 sides of the battle chased each other and went deeper into the wilderness, 2 days and 2 nights later. Jiang Chen. The foggy area is ahead. Do you really want to fight to the death? Do you really want to continue fighting? Duan Lang, with disheveled hair, bloodstains all over his body, and scars pierced by spiked maces, his left arm disappeared and only one arm was left. He gasped heavily and stared at Jiang Chen with scarlet eyes. In this protracted battle, every time the fight reached a fierce point, Jiang Chen chose to retreat. 10 minutes later, he swept in again, and his moves became as fierce as the beginning, exchanging injuries for injuries. Duan Lang instinctively felt that something was wrong. Maybe the secret of Jiang Chen's apparent uninjury was hidden in these unknown 10 minutes. It's a pity that Jiang Chen mastered the two unique skills of moon step and shaving, which always let him escape. Now, Duan Lang has been severely injured by Jiang Chen's kite-flying style of fighting. At this point in the battle, Duan Lang couldn't help but have the idea of retreating. His current injuries were very serious. If he was not treated in time, his life might be in danger. The overlord who dominated one side felt the threat of death for the first time. At this time, Jiang Chen also reached a critical moment. His health and physical strength were also seriously depleted, 51 points of health remaining. Duan Lang is indeed a veteran who has been on the battlefield for a long time and has a meticulous grasp of the battle. At this time, Jiang Chen should have left the battlefield and waited for his health to recover, but Duan Lang saw through Jiang Chen's rules and fought for his life, tightly entangled Jiang Chen and couldn't get away. Now his health has reached the edge of the danger line. If he is not careful, he will be hit by Duan Lang's life-threatening blow, and he may really die. Humph. Old wall lamp still wants to cheat me. That the calm Jiang Chen was not affected by Duan Lang's words. Both sides have no way out. Duan Lang, who saw through Jiang Chen's pattern, would never give Jiang Chen a chance to breathe. The so-called ceasefire was only shaking Jiang Chen's momentum. Let's fight it out, Duan Lang. It's about who's better. It's about life and death. Jiang Chen raised the 8 fasts, and thunder was swirling around him, and lightning snakes were splashing. The scarlet light in his eyes overflowed from his eye sockets, and the strongest armed color domineering set off him like a god or a demon. Asshole. Duan Lang was scared. Between life and death, he could no longer maintain his calmness in front of the collapse of Mount Tai. So far, all his speculations about Jiang Chen were just guesses. He can't afford to gamble. And dare not gamble. Now, he couldn't judge whether Jiang Chen was just a show or really left room for maneuver. Escape. Escape into the fog. Facing Jiang Chen, there was only one way to go, but there was still hope of survival if he escaped into the fog. At this time, he was no longer the high-spirited, domineering, and superior admiral of the Blood Wolf group. He is a lost dog. A loser who is struggling to survive. Duan Lang dodged Jiang Chen's killing move with a roll, and then he turned and rushed into the gray fog, and was soon swallowed by the fog and disappeared. Jiang Chen stopped and looked at the rolling fog in front of him. His face was uncertain, should he chase or not? The fog is full of dangers, and even the so-called Great Wall of Fog is just a small defense line near the city. Outside the fog, Duan Lang was already seriously injured, and he felt that he would die in the fog. Forget it, don't make trouble, why not retreat? Jiang Chen couldn't help but have such thoughts in his mind. Pooh, pooh, pooh. How could I have such a stupid villain idea? Jiang Chen hammered his head to break his unrealistic fantasy. Who doesn't know that the protagonists, important supporting characters, powerful villains, etc. in novels are always able to turn danger into safety and escape death when they are on the cliff or in a desperate situation. In the end, they come back and cause another catastrophe. I don't know if I am a villain, but the protagonist should not be me. People like me with healthy parents, extraordinary talents, a smooth life, and cheats should be like the protagonist. This kind of lucky child is nothing. To sum up, if I really let Duan Lang go, he might actually survive. No, I have to root it out. I must watch him die in front of me. After a brief thought, Jiang Chen also stepped into the fog. Under the dark night, The rolling gray-brown fog was like a monster that chose people to devour, crossing the sky and the earth. Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable all over. This was the first feeling that the fog gave Jiang Chen, and even his breathing was accompanied by a burning breath of the trachea. But fortunately, this was just a feeling. Checking his system panel, Jiang Chen did not find any bad negative status. It seems that it is okay to bear it. Looking at the inside of the fog, unlike the gray-brown color outside that was so thick that it could not be dissolved, the vision inside was just slightly hazy, with a hint of fog. The surrounding environment was almost the same as the outside, with desolate land, broken stones, and the skeletons of unknown creatures. Release the domineering aura of observation, Jiang Chen grinned. Found you. Duan Lang, who was running wildly in the fog, suddenly felt the malicious eyes coming from behind him, turned around and looked. Shocked. Damn. This haunting Jiang Chen. You won't let me live? Well, then let's not live anymore. Crazy Duan Lang ran towards the depths of the fog. Behind him was a trail of blood from his serious injuries. Run. A trapped beast will still fight. Too much is as bad as too little. Jiang Chen was also happy to lure him from a distance. Duan Lang was even in a desperate situation. There was no need to face his dying counterattack. He kept a safe distance from him. One was to exhaust his physical strength after being seriously injured, the other was to restore his life value. The most important thing was that the danger of the fog was still unknown. Duan Lang went forward to explore the way. If something went wrong, he could withdraw in time. Sure enough, as Duan Lang and Jiang Chen continued to go deeper, various strange phenomena emerged. First, there was a faint whisper in Jiang Chen's ears. Looking around, he found some strange human-shaped black shadows in the fog in the distance. They were motionless, but from the black head shadow, Jiang Chen could feel their gaze, and they were always looking at the two of them. The strange thing was that as the two of them kept chasing, the closer they got to the direction of the shadow, the more they could not get close. The shadow was motionless, but it seemed to be close at hand. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hiss no, I'm not going to fight you at all. Jiang Chen felt a chill on his back for no apparent reason, and when he swept his observation hockey, there was nothing at all where the shadow was. Mystifying. After all, he came from a higher dimensional world, and his 9 years of compulsory education were not in vain. He was definitely against supernatural powers. However, Jiang Chen was really a little scared when he encountered such a strange and weird thing. Jiang Chen was not afraid of fighting with a strong enemy, but this kind of weird thing seemed to be really meant to scare people. Duan Lang in front was also in a dilemma at this time. As for who is under the greatest pressure now, there is no doubt that Duan Lang, who is dragging his seriously injured body with wolves in front and tigers behind, can be said to be deeply touched. As Duan Lang slowed down his pace, Jiang Chen also unconsciously slowed down at the same time, until Duan Lang stopped completely, turned around and looked at Jiang Chen. His eyes seemed to say, "Come here." Jiang Chen ignored him and kept alert all around. Duan Lang also stalemated with him, constantly on guard, and even had time to tear off his clothes to bandage his wounds and stop the bleeding. I have to say that Jiang Chen really admires the other party's big heart. If he didn't come, he might really be able to escape. Sizzle. The sound of cloth tearing was infinitely amplified in the empty environment now, and it kept echoing and reverberating far away. Jiang Chen's eyes condensed, always feeling something was wrong, and quietly approached a dead tree that had been dead for who knows how many years to cover his figure. As a silver-level master, Duan Lang also instinctively felt the crisis, crouched down, and stopped tearing his clothes. In the fog, if you want to survive, you must always stay calm. Sure enough. In the depths of the fog in the distance, a little orange light actually bloomed, just like a traveler seeing the oil lamps lit by each household in his hometown on his way home at night, but this kind of thing can never appear in the fog. Duan Lang and Jiang Chen were tense, staring at the direction of the light. As he observed, Jiang Chen solemnly discovered that the edge of the light began to appear like a town. Desolate streets, dilapidated houses, dim oil lamps, and shadowy figures around the windows. As Jiang Chen looked more and more carefully, the appearance of the town became clearer and clearer. Jiang Chen could even see the old street lights flickering, and the figures outside the window became more and more real, with their backs facing the doors and windows of the old houses in the direction of Jiang Chen. You can even see bright green vegetables planted by someone next to the house. No. Jiang Chen was shocked. It's not that his eyesight is getting clearer and clearer. It's clear that this town is getting closer to them in an unknown way. Not good. Run. This seemingly peaceful but actually weird village town has a big problem. Jiang Chen turned around and was about to return along the way. He waved a powerful finger to block Duan Lang's footsteps. Humph. Duan Lang, I'll let you go today, you rat. Duan Lang, who also noticed something was wrong, just wanted to get up and run away like Jiang Chen, but he didn't expect that a strong finger force would attack him head-on. Although he rolled sideways to avoid the attack, he was already a step slower. Damn shameless child. Duan Lang was immediately furious. Humph. Jiang Chen didn't care. There is a saying in his hometown that when you encounter a bear attack in the wild, you don't need to run faster than the bear, you just need to run faster than the others. Unfortunately, man proposes, God disposes. Jiang Chen was about to start sprinting, and the strange town seemed to sense their intentions in advance, and suddenly closed the distance. The surrounding environment was instantly turned upside down. The desolate land and the unknown strange black shadows in the distance all disappeared. Inexplicably, Jiang Chen and Duan Lang were facing the direction of the strange town. A flat and winding path under his feet leads directly to the place where the strange town is. Duan Lang and Jiang Chen rarely fought each other at this time. In the face of a greater and unknown threat, they had to temporarily put aside their hatred. Duan Lang silently separated some distance from Jiang Chen. At this time, he was in a weak position and would not get close to Jiang Chen if he could. Jiang Chen was also happy about this. He turned around and looked around. Behind him was like a boundary line, shrouded in endless darkness. He kicked a piece of gravel with his foot, and the gravel flew out a parabola and fell into the darkness. After a moment, there was no sound of the stone falling to the ground. Instead, the stone jumped out of the darkness, and the same force and the same parabola fell from the darkness to Jiang Chen's feet. Interesting. Jiang Chen fired a finger gun at the darkness. As expected, the air force shot in was suddenly shot back from the darkness. Jiang Chen tilted his head to avoid his finger force, and the powerful finger force blasted a deep pit on the stone ground. Is the space distorted? Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes and thought secretly, glancing at the environment here, this place is no longer in the fog, at least there is no uncomfortable fog in the air, there are lush vegetation and tall bushes on both sides of the road, which is rare. Looking up at the sky, there are actually 2 moons in the sky. TSK. 2 moons in the same sky, infinite secrets. Jiang Chen couldn't help but miss a popular sitcom in his previous life. Duan Lang watched Jiang Chen standing in the same place and doing this experiment in the darkness, and then he was in a daze, muttering something in his mouth, and couldn't help but reveal a mockery. Sure enough, he is a rookie who doesn't understand the fog. No matter how outstanding his martial arts are. Since he has been targeted by the weird, is it useful to escape? The only way to break the situation is to find clues and face the weirdness directly. The sooner you stay on the periphery, the sooner you will die. Duan Lang strode towards the dim town. Jiang Chen was also amused when he saw this, and he also slowly followed Duan Lang. I just like the way you pretend. So handsome. As he got closer to the town, Jiang Chen gradually found something wrong. The traces of human beings around were too obvious, whether it was the neat farmland on both sides of the road or the relatively new vehicles parked at the entrance of the town, it all showed that there were traces of people living here. At the entrance, there was a wooden sign with 4 big characters Nightmare Town written crookedly on it. Duan Lang, who was walking in front, sneered, playing tricks. Then he turned to look at Jiang Chen. Since you and I are not going to do it now, let's live in this weird town by our own ability. Goodbye. Obviously Duan also discovered Jiang Chen's intention and didn't want to be a sucker. Humph, whatever you want. Jiang Chen said with a fake smile. The domineering aura of observation made him sense that there was an unknown creature approaching in front, which was the direction Duan left. Flying onto the roof, as expected, several humanoid creatures in front were slowly approaching Duan. At this time, Duan also saw this group of people with stiff smiles on their faces approaching him. Humph. Who are you? Those people did not answer him, but instead cracked their mouths and showed terrifying smiles. I knew it. How could there be normal people in the fog? After saying that, Duan waved his claws and immediately cut one of them in half. The strange thing was that the man was still crawling on the ground, and his face became more hideous like a monster. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing that the monster was cut in half by one claw, it seemed as if a signal was triggered. The other monsters with normal faces, all men, women, and children, suddenly revealed their hideous original forms. Withered faces like rotting corpses, mouths wide open to reveal sharp and slender teeth, and scarlet tongues half a meter long like poisonous snakes. They all rushed towards Duan. Humph. Just a bunch of chickens and dogs. Duan showed disdain, his claws turned with his body, and terrifying strong winds shot out. The monsters that rushed over suddenly became fragmented. One kick after another crushed the monsters' heads, and those monsters suddenly became motionless, and then turned into black mist and merged into the night. Is it so easy to die? Standing on the roof and watching, Jiang Chen frowned slightly as he looked at the black mist that spread into the sky. If the monsters in the strange land are at this level, it's too much of a joke. Sure enough, it's not that simple. The group of monsters that Duan had just killed unexpectedly emerged from the strange darkness again, and their figures and faces were exactly the same as the normal humans before. More and more humanoid creatures with strange smiles were constantly walking towards Duan. You look seriously injured, let me bandage you. Do you need a rest? Dear, you look haggard. Let me touch you, let me touch you. The group of monsters spoke human words, showing a soulless but kind smile, ignoring the companions around them who were constantly being cut into pieces by Duan, and rushed towards Duan one after another. Many ants bite the elephant to death. Although Duan constantly defeated the siege of monsters with overwhelming advantages, this group of seemingly immortal monsters was really fearless and dense in number. Damn, don't these monsters have weaknesses? Over time, Duan, who was already seriously injured and his physical strength was constantly declining, gradually showed signs of decline. This old guy is good at bragging. He was so confident just now, but it seems that he is not doing well anymore. Jiang Chen looked down at the besieged Duan, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Suddenly, he frowned and looked to the side. Unconsciously, a woman with a beautiful face and a curvy figure appeared beside Jiang Chen with a smile on her face. The rooftop is cold, but my arms are warm. Come and touch them, little brother. The woman stretched out her hand and looked at Jiang Chen with a gentle and affectionate face. It was so gentle. If it weren't for the woman standing outside the rooftop fence with her feet suspended in the air, she would have thought that it was some considerate young lady who was so warm and hospitable. Okay, let me see how warm your arms are. Jiang Chen also smiled. Here, I'm coming. The woman smiled gently and opened her arms. Jiang Chen's left hand went straight in, stabbed through the woman's chest, and held her heart. A cold touch came from her arm. The woman opened her hands and pushed against the resistance in Jiang Chen's arm to move closer to him step by step. Her face gradually began to show a hideous look. Don't you feel pain? You're so domineering. His arm exerted force, and the powerful armed color domineering aura poured into his arm. Suddenly, the place where the woman's exposed heart touched the domineering aura was like hot oil melting snow. There was a hissing sound. The woman completely turned into a monster, howling in pain and pounced on Jiang Chen. He stretched out his hand and directly pulled off the monster's long tongue. The monster's eyes were not less fierce, but more ferocious. It opened its bloody mouth and wanted to go forward to devour Jiang Chen. Seeing that the monster was not afraid at all, Jiang Chen directly shot the beautiful monster in the head with a finger gun and sent her to death. Only this time, Jiang Chen could clearly feel that the smoke of the monster incarnation had become much thinner. Is it because of its domineering nature? It has weird behavior logic, imitates human habits, can speak and even communicate, but after revealing its original form, it only has an instinctive killing consciousness, no pain and no fear. Jiang Chen frowned. This kind of thing. If you say it has consciousness, it will only kill, kill and kill. If you say it has no consciousness, it can disguise, speak and communicate. It's extremely weird. Is this evil? It's inexplicable. Jiang Chen. Are you still watching the show? If I die, you will also be alone here. Duan Lang, who was fighting in the blood, turned his head and yelled at Jiang Chen, who was standing on the roof not far away and watching the show. Stop making so much noise. Hold on for a while. Pinching his ears, Jiang Chen emptied his mind and stared at one of the monsters. Ding, high-dimensional perspective activated. Type, nightmare, subbody, introduction, a fog monster that feeds on human fear. It often moves when the main body wakes up. It is good at changing into a human appearance, luring and killing creatures, and obeying the rules set by the main body. The main body is not dead, and the sub-body is indestructible. Armament hockey can directly consume its constituent power, but this is meaningless. Nightmare? It seems that the key lies in the main body. Where will it be? Jiang Chen scanned all the visible living things, and the panels all displayed the information of the nightmare demon sub-body. Sister Sha, are you really not going to let him in? He seems to be unable to hold on. In a house with lights on, a girl in her 20s stood by a tightly closed window and pointed at Duan Lang, who was fighting with monsters in the distance with a worried look on her face, and said to the woman behind her, who was obviously the same age but had a strong and cold aura. The woman named Tang Sha crossed her arms and her eyes turned cold when she heard the girl's request. Xiaoyu, I seem to have warned you that there is no saintly heart in the fog. You seem to have ignored my words. Is it good and evil? Both good and evil. It's still unknown. Let him in. You will be responsible if something happens. If you really want to save him, you can. You go out and let him come in. The girl named Xiaoyu was stunned when she heard the words, biting her lips tightly, and her eyes were filled with tears unconsciously. She looked so pitiful that I felt sorry for her. Sister Sha, that's not what I meant. Tang Sha. Xiaoyu is just a suggestion. Do you have to be so venomous? Look how scared Xiaoyu is. A tall young man with an angry face stepped forward to protect the crying girl and glared at Tang Sha. Brother Tang Feng, stop arguing. It's all my fault. I made Sister Sha angry. If you brothers and sisters quarrel for me, I will be sad. Xiaoyu leaned on the tall man's arms with tears, but her tears with the man's clothes. Another handsome guy with silver hair and a cold expression frowned like a bow and stood up. Enough, Sha. Stop it. 11. Tang Sha was so angry that her teeth were itching, but she could do nothing. She was the leader of the survivors lost in the nightmare town. Tang Feng was her brother, and the handsome guy with silver hair was Tang Sha's childhood sweetheart. As for the girl named Xiaoyu, let's call her junior sister. At this time, Duan Lang, who was fighting with the monster, also found something unusual after calming down. There seemed to be prying eyes coming from the places where the lights were on in the houses around. He jumped and came to a lighted window. Sure enough, he found a family of 3 inside, leaning against each other and looking at Duan Lang, who looked like a god and demon outside the window, trembling. Humph. No matter what it is, it's always right to kill it. Duan Lang said with a ferocious face. Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Duan Lang kicked the house to pieces, and was about to stab the family of 3 to death. Stop! A sharp sword energy came from a distance, and it was ethereal and agile, and it directly cut Duan Lang away. Tang Sha, holding a white long sword, rushed over at a very fast speed, protecting the three people behind. Master Sha. The three people behind him shouted as if they had met a savior. Where did this little girl come from? Duanlang, who was unharmed, waved away the dust and mist, and looked Tang Sha up and down. It turns out to be a kid in the Black Iron realm. The sword energy is so weak. Duanlang showed a mocking expression. What is your relationship with this group of weird monsters? This senior, we have nothing to do with those nightmares. We are all survivors trapped in the same town. If you have something to say, please talk it over nicely, and don't hurt people's lives at every turn. Tang Sha glanced at Xiao Yu and the others who were hiding in the distance and dared not come over, and couldn't help showing a mocking expression on her face. Meeting these teammates, I, Tang Sha, am really unlucky for 8 lifetimes. Senior, it's not advisable to stay outside for a long time. Let's go back to the house with me. I will tell you all the relevant information. Looking at the monsters that began to gradually surround them again, Tang Sha spoke anxiously. What a joke. Who knows if you are the more advanced monsters who can imitate humans? You tricked me into the house so that you can surround and kill me. Go to hell. Duanlang was about to start a killing spree again. Knowing that this man was a murderer and there was no turning back, Tang Sha had to speak. In that case. I'm sorry, senior. What a joke. I can see your strength from your sword energy. You have indeed made some progress in swordsmanship. With your black iron level physique and comprehensive strength, you are not my opponent at all. Duanlang took the initiative and swung his fierce wolf claws directly at her. Tang Sha, who leaned over with her sword and closed her eyes, drew her sword to block the fierce attack in an instant. The huge force shook her knuckles. Enduring the pain, she drew her sword and pressed down Duanlang's one arm, and then her right hand directly touched Duanlang's body. Childish curse, Mtlnovel. A strange force suddenly covered Duanlang's body. Asshole. You are. Duanlang was shocked. Before he could finish his words, his body suddenly shrank and turned into an Ultraman model that was only a dozen centimeters tall. After using her ability, Tang Sha suddenly half-knelt on the ground, sweat dripping from her forehead. She used her fruit ability too frequently and it was almost at the critical point. No. I can't faint. The family of 3 hurried forward to support Tang Sha. Woo, Sister Tang, are you okay? It's all our fault. You used your ability again. The 7 or 8-year-old boy next to him looked at Tang Sha and sniffed, and couldn't help crying secretly. It's okay, sister can hold on. You go first, I'll deal with the monsters first. After saying that, Tang Sha endured the discomfort and looked at the nightmares that were getting closer and closer. She activated her ability again and turned them into dolls one by one. Then the family of 3 took out the cloth bag and threw all the dolls in and sealed them as if they were very skilled. Tang Sha fought and retreated with her family of 3 back to their previous residence. Brother Tang Feng, Brother Qing Xian, should we save Sister Sha? Xiao Yu said to Tang Feng and the silver-haired handsome man with tears still on her face. Don't worry, she won't die. It's a lesson for her. She is so arrogant for using her fruit ability to help everyone. It's better to let her suffer a little. The man named Tang Feng looked at Xiao Yu beside him and said distressedly. That's true. She doesn't know how important her fruit ability is to us in this nightmare town. She actually put herself in a desperate situation to save those 3 meaningless families of 3. Humph. She is so saintly. The silver-haired handsome man spoke coldly, without mentioning Xiao Yu who was also saintly just now. At this time, Tang Sha, who was fighting and retreating, looked a little dazed, and the whole person was shaky. Looking at the 3 people standing by and watching coldly not far away, she suddenly felt sad. Sister Tang. Go on your own. Suddenly the little boy broke free from Tang Sha's hand, his eyes red, and the boy's parents also smiled and pushed Tang Sha away. Ms. Tang, you will never go back with us. You are the hope of us survivors. If it were you, you would definitely lead everyone back to the real world. Go back, Miss Tang, don't let our sacrifice go to waste." After that, the family of three held hands and walked towards the monster, trying to buy time for Tang Shasha to return safely. "Everyone! Don't!" Tang Shasha burst into tears, but she didn't have much strength. Hot breath. A huge pillar of fire descended from the sky, drawing a long dividing line. Wherever the flames passed, the nightmares turned into ashes and turned into black mist again. At the critical moment, Jiang Chen fell from the sky, with armed domineering wrapped around his body. "An old friend of mine has just been turned into a doll by you. Now I save your life, just think of it as me buying his life." Jiang Chen spoke in a calm tone, and his vigilance was indeed very solemn. The childlike fruit, one of the bug-level fruit abilities, forcibly turned the people it touched into dolls, and the powerful existence could also delete the memory of the people who knew the dolls. If Jiang Chen had not been domineering, he would not have dared to approach Tang Shasha rashly. Domineering, the eternal panacea, can beat natural entities, defend against strange fruit abilities, and even have a certain restraining effect on fog monsters. Of course, the premise of all this is that the domineering is strong enough. "Who are you?" Tang Shasha was on guard. When she heard that he was in the same group with the ferocious one-armed master, she was immediately shocked. At this time, the family of three who were saved by Jiang Chen also surrounded Tang Shasha and looked at Jiang Chen nervously. "Don't worry, don't be nervous. I am also a victim who strayed into this place. It's better to have less trouble than more. Everyone wants to get out alive, right?" Jiang Chen looked at Tang Shasha with a smile. He had long seen that Tang Shasha, who was at the end of her strength, did not dare to confront him at all, for fear that she would faint and release Duan Lang again. Jiang Chen was very happy to pick up a controlled Duan Lang for nothing. After a stalemate, Tang Shasha looked at the family of three in front of her, and finally couldn't bear it. She agreed to Jiang Chen's request, and even handed Jiang Chen's friend Duan Lang Ultraman to Jiang Chen in order to improve Jiang Chen's favorability. Ultraman, who had been moving relatively quietly, struggled violently when he found himself in Jiang Chen's hands. Fortunately, Jiang Chen had strong hands, otherwise Duan Lang Ultraman would have almost run away. You have a good relationship with your old friend. I'm so excited to see you." No, it's just a lifelong friendship. It's not worth mentioning, not worth mentioning. Woo. Ultraman, whose mouth was not open, couldn't make any sound at all, so the five people returned to their residence safely. Tang Feng, Qing Xian. "Open the door." Tang Shasha shouted impatiently. "Tang Shasha. You are really too much. You always say that you won't bring strangers back to your residence, but now you turn around and bring 4 people back. Have you ever considered everyone?" Through the door, Tang Feng's voice came.